Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
Let's do it. I'm Dan.
Real quick, we got Science on Tap this Saturday,
I'm
January 21st.
so sick of hearing you tell me about stuff, man.
We're going to be out there. It's a beer fest. It's at Audubon. No.
Stop saying that.
You
God,
idiot.
what is it
At
called?
Lockhaven
Lockhaven.
Park. Why do you want to say Audubon Park?
It's too close.
No,
It's-
they're
Don't even
not.
say the location. Just go to Science on Tap.
Wait a minute. If you combine Lockhaven with Audubon, you get Loudabon. And I'm all about that
I thought he was going to
Loudabon.
say, oh, is that
Lockhaven.
Onomatopoeia Park?
right next to the Orlando Science Center, and it's all to benefit
Could have just
the
said
Science
that.
Center.
Could have just said go to the
I
Science
know.
Center and look to your right.
God. Anyway, next day is Sofa and Suds. It's the Sanford Sofa races.
Yeah, it is the rescheduled Sofas and Suds. We were supposed to have done this, but some crazy weather blew in. Now we're redoing it, and it's arguably my favorite event.
I freaked out last night because I was like,
Uh-oh.
"Oh God, Sofa and Suds!" And then I was like,
Where's get all the call rooms to go?
I was double checking with the
Yeah.
Orlando bands. I'm like, "We're good with the stage because I'm panicked that I forgot to do something. I'm
Did
gonna
you-
show up.
Did
and
you
if
forget?
it's-
Did you tell Angel?
No, the Angel. I told the
All
Angel.
right.
Seth know that he's supposed to
That's
be
it.
pushing
I told
it.
Seth.
Where's our couch? Do we have the other couches?
I talked to the couch
Or
guy.
is it just going to be Dustin with 5 couches?
No, I text
Okay.
everybody. I text Josh, our couch guy, and I'm like, "Is
What
the
about
couch?"
the other couches? Do we have?
Oh, that's all Mike Smith.
What about
that's
Lose
not on
Your
my-
Shorts and the flower shop and the?
As long that's other people's responsibility. As
Okay.
long as I fulfill my responsibility,
Okay.
I never get mad. If things are falling apart, but it's not caused
You're
by
doing,
me,
not you're doing.
I don't care.
Okay.
I really don't
That's
care.
fair. I think that's
I'm like,
fair.
well, I couldn't have done anything about this, so
Yeah.
we're riding it
Okay,
out.
that's fair. So do you feel
If
better?
I show up and then it's gone completely wrong,
So you
but it's
called-
someone else's fault, I'll be like, what am I supposed
So
to
you
do?
called our
Right?
good friends at Orlando Bands. You called them at in the middle of the night. Yeah.
I text people in the middle of the night.
Don't do that. That's
Yeah, it's fine.
why are you doing that? Nobody wants to
It's
get
like an email.
a all caps screaming text in the middle of the night.
It's like an email.
Did I rent a stage from you?
I tell people, text me whenever you want. It doesn't bother me. I look
I
at
do.
it
I
like an
text
email.
you all the time. You know what?
I texted you one time late, and I apologized for it. You're like, it doesn't matter what time it is. I'm like, all right.
Wow.
It doesn't.
He's like,
Because-
especially if it's you, Sam. Text me anytime.
Because
Slide into my DMs.
either my phone is away or I'm looking at it, and then
When the
so-
phone's away, Tom's looking to play.
So if I'm
In Tom's defense, I don't mind doing that because sometimes I'll get like it'll be 1 a.m. and I'm like, oh, I need to text someone this thing, and if I don't do it right then, I'm gonna
Yes.
forget to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, our good friend Kenny from the Two Moofs podcast, and
Heyo.
he's also basically in charge of all things drone racing. He's in charge of all of it.
how you doing, Kenny?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Now, before we talk about your subjects that you brought, and I want to
He
talk
always
about
brings
mine.
in some nerd subjects,
Let me
but
tell you my subject
what we
first.
like to do is we like to force you to listen to our subjects and weigh in on them.
I just want to speak quickly about some NFL playoff games, and and if you
Tread
watch,
lightly, he's a Vikings fan.
oh, you're a Viking.
Stinky Kirk Cousins.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. He blew it.
Yeah, he did.
Man,
He had the chance.
Brian Daboll, the coach of the Giants, he's going to win Coach of the Year if he. Could,
Oh, yeah.
If he could win, I mean, if he beats Philly, Coach of the Year for sure. But I mean, even if they
Do you
keep
think
it
it's
close,
possible? You think it's
Oh, yeah.
possible?
Oh,
Do you believe in Daniel Jones now?
No, but if,
I do.
if
I
Brian
think
they
it's
got no
good.
receivers.
I think
and they're,
it's good though.
if Brian Dable were to shave his beard, he would look like an adult baby.
Yeah. He's pink
See,
smooth.
I like Dayball because all like it seems
Better than
like
Nightball.
well,
We'll be right back.
ever since Sean McVay, now there's a new crop of young, good-looking coaches that I don't like. Okay, follow me with this. So Sean McVay, he's young and he's ripped. He's like muscular and young, and I'm like, all right, that's an anomaly. But then other teams are like, well, we need a young
ripped
coach
young
too.
coach.
And even though like Mike McDaniel's the coach of the Dolphins,
He's in good shape.
He's not ripped though. He's not muscular. He's kind of more nerdy, but he's still good looking.
He's in good shape.
And he looks young. And then it's like all these coaches look younger than me.
Well, they are.
Well, they are.
I know.
Does that bother you? Oh,
Yes,
you've
it
reached
does.
the age where the people are younger than you doing stuff that you admire. Oh,
Yes.
this is a stinger.
So-
this is an ego whacker.
Yeah, the coach of the Cardinals, he just got fired, but he was young.
He was a
as
good-looking
well.
dude.
Now,
Mike McDaniel, when you look at him, though, you know who he looks like to me? And I've never thought of this until yesterday. He did something different with his hair, and he was doing the press conference, and I'm like, oh, my God, he looks like Mark Anthony. the singer.
I could see that.
A little bit. Like he's got that
Yeah.
lean
Yeah.
kind of
See, I like
Latin vibe.
If you get a chance, check out like Instagram Reels or TikTok Reels. Do little clippets of Mike McDaniels' press conferences, and he is the biggest nerd. He'll literally show up and be like, I'm thinking one of my big philosophies is to just score more points than the other team. And I think it might work for this season.
Well, so he's just screwing around.
He'll literally
he's
have
kinda just trolling
like,
the media.
dumb
and
Apparently,
messing around.
apparently the chat room saying he was ripping his vape on the sidelines yesterday. I didn't know
yeah.
you could do that. That's pretty awesome.
I saw that on
That makes
Twitter,
me
but I
love
didn't
him.
actually see a plume. I think he was blowing on his fingers, and
Yeah.
people are saying he was getting high.
Oh, no,
no-
not getting high. I think.
Well, that's what I saw on Twitter.
I
Everybody
want
saying
him-
he was token.
He's not vaping on the
Oh,
sidelines.
I don't like it
That's
now. If
impossible.
he vaped more, I'd be a
Yeah.
Dolphins fan.
Yeah.
And there's
I would
nothing
actually
more
like it.
Dolphins than ripping your
There's
vape on the sidelines.
No
I feel
way.
Like. It's a little Tampa too. Little Tampa, right?
But I want my coaches to be a big fat day ball because then
Yeah. You know what I was
because-
you know what I was watching yesterday, and I
Dude,
thought
go-
of the same thing.
Uh.
Old Rex Ryan was on.
Yes.
He was on.
I
this-
like a Rex Ryan.
Ryan's
I like
teeth
a
are the
Andy
wi-
Reid.
Look at Rex Ryan's teeth now. Sam, pull up a new picture of Rex Ryan. His teeth are whiter than anything
Yeah.
in the world. The whitest marble teeth, and he's a big fat foot loving blob, and I miss him.
Yeah.
Only coaches should only be fat.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because that's the
Big fat John Madden.
because in my
Give me a
mind
big Madden.
they're so stressed out because the job is so hard. They just eat cheesesteaks. They sit there in the office and watch
I
tape
want the
and they're
whale.
eating.
Give me the whale.
I want them to be because when they're
Oh, I
in
guess
good
he
shape.
got the lap band weight loss surgery.
But he's still big fat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's a big because he was a large
Yeah,
man.
That's just to save his life.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
he's still
literally
fat.
just to give him hours.
Yeah.
There's no,
Yeah.
I mean, like the guy's still a huge, humongous man, and is in a huge suit with big white teeth. And I was like, that's my coach.
Yeah,
Do you think we'll ever get a head coach that is in one of those scooter rounds? Like his brain is brilliant, like a football aficionado.
Oh, you mean like an FDR?
He's at, like no. Well, I just meant
Not anymore. I wish there would be, but
not because of
nowadays,
polio, but just because of
Oh,
obesity.
I want a polio.
Nowadays-
Hold on. You want best one? Polio, big fat lady.
they did
Coach. Big fat polio lady coach.
because now like
Oh,
the
be
NFL is
awesome.
like you got to set example. We got these sponsors like McDonald's doesn't want to see you out there like that because it's going to remind people that don't eat
Yeah,
McDonald's.
but Andy Reid's lost a lot of weight, right? Who's the
Yeah.
fattest coach in the NFL right now?
Oh, it's got to be Dayball.
No, I think it's still Andy Reid. You
think it's Andy
yeah,
Reid?
Yeah, Andy Reid.
And don't let Jacksonville's
big.
coach. Who's Jacksonville's
Oh,
coach?
Doug Peterson.
Don't let him sneak past you. He's a big fat slob.
Because
He's
tall,
sloppy.
but he's tall.
But he's
That's-
sloppy.
Yeah.
He
I like my coaches sloppy.
He dresses like he fell through a closet and then he fell out onto the field.
I remember this was like 15 years ago. One of the coaches wanted to dress up in a suit, like old 1960s style. But the NFL was like, we'll fine you if you wear a suit because they're not NFL licensed apparel. So you'll have Bill Belichick looking like a homeless person in a hoodie, but a guy wants to dress up nice in a suit and he'll get fined.
That's ridiculous. I like it when soccer coaches, like a big win for Arsenal over the weekend, taking on our rivals of Tottenham. And, it was so good. I watched that. Like, I mean, as soon as that whistle went off, it was immediately right into playoffs, which is how I like my sports. I like baseball to end as I'm watching Monday Night Football. Like, I like it to go all in. I like them to be at the same time. I love this interweaving of all the sports. So I went right from Arsenal, Tottenham, right to watching playoff football. And who's our fattest coach? Did we figure out who it is?
Well, Andy Reid, I
Still
think
Andy
so.
Reid.
But also, I will accept Dan Campbell, puffy red steroids buff because he's an ex-player.
Okay.
So I'll take the Rogan red face.
A Rogan red face.
Testosterone ripped.
Yeah.
Because then I was like, oh, hey, you're a former player. You keep your you're working out still. I just don't like the regular, good-looking. Doesn't look like an athlete, not big fat.
There's a
Mike
manager.
McDaniel.
There's a manager
Or-
I think he's the manager for Sam. If you could look this up, I believe he's the manager for the San Francisco Giants in MLB, and the dude is an ex-model. And he's the manager, right? Like, so Braves, we have Snitker, and he's a big, fat, bald head. He's been there for 40 years.
Yeah.
Tried and true. He looks like a grandpa. You want to run up to him and hug him, and he's like, it's going to be all right. He's got, like, that kind of, like, just calming grandpa energy. Now, this guy gives off. He's tan. He's got cool tattoos.
Yeah.
He's muscly. He has a chiseled jaw. And he has, like...
Gabe Kapler.
Yeah, and you look at his beard line, and he has that, like, where he has the 5 o'clock shadow that grows like right after he shaves.
Yeah.
So he looks like Archer. He looks like He looks like he's a male model, and you look at the guy, and you're like, you don't belong here. Get out of here.
It wasn't that long ago. Like I think only like 15 years ago, you could actually still smoke in the dugout of baseball stadiums.
Yeah. I had a better day. Better time. So back to the Jaguars game. So I'm sure a lot of people were watching that game in Florida. And there's a good amount of Jags fans, I feel like, around town. So
he's also gay. That's why he keeps up his appearance.
Is he gay?
Yeah.
Look at that. I didn't know that. Yeah, he looks great.
He does look great.
Yeah, this guy's a hunk, man. I mean, he's got his tattoos, he's got his watches, he looks cool, he's super fit, jacked.
It's like full sleeve tattoo.
Yeah,
too.
the dude is like he's probably the best looking manager in MLB.
So Trevor Lawrence starts throwing interception after interception, and it looks like this game is gonna. I mean, completely.
Oh, maybe he's not gay. Maybe just gay men love him. Hold on.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, we don't want to go to misinformation. I don't want to out anybody.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I think he might be married, but.
And so he throws like 5 interceptions.
Well, he threw 4 in the first half to the point where Andrea and I were watching it, and she's like, "I'm not watching this," and she turned it off.
It was 3 1/4, and they said some stat like a quarterback who's thrown 3 1/4 is like 0-9 in NFL history.
Yeah. And so it looks like basically it turned off the game after they punted the ball off and it hit the Jags player in the helmet. And then I was like, sometimes you just things like this happen. Like
it was like a Peanuts cartoon.
Now
I forgot about that. You're right. You're like wah wah wah.
Now I will give some people some betting advice out there, and because I did win some money, and this happened last playoffs that Roethlisberger played in. I think it was 2 years ago, where they all of a sudden threw some interceptions, some fumbles, and like some weird things in the game. They're down like 24 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And so I did look at the Jags, and I bet them plus 24.5 live because you live in-game betting. And I was like, maybe they'll just back end cover this because your Chargers are going to take their foot off the gas and just run out the clock.
At least that's what you would hope, right?
And so this is where, again, my conspiracy theory jumps into play, where I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is odd that the Chargers up this, because then all of a sudden the Jags scored a touchdown or whatever, but they were still down 27-0 in the second half or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why aren't the Chargers taking all the time they can off the clock? And they're continuing to snap the ball with like 20 seconds on the play clock. And it's like coaching 101 when you're trying to protect a huge lead. Just run the clock out. Run the ball.
It's what I do in Madden games. Like I play a lot of Madden. And one of the hardest things I had to teach myself, because it goes against what you want to do as a video game player, but you have to play it like it's a real game, right?
Yeah.
You have to manage the clock. And you have to, there's different things. There's 2-minute football. There's 4-minute football. There's ways to approach it so you do not give them enough time to come back, right? That is, and I'm having to teach myself by watching YouTube videos or a stupid video game, but you do it. It's all deliberate. It's all scripted.
Now, I sit back and armchair quarterback, and everybody does this where they're like, "Oh, what are you doing, you idiot?" And it's like, well, these people know better than you. What do you know? You're just some fat guy that's on the couch watching a game. You don't know, like, did you coach football? But then there's certain things that are just common sense. It's like, well, do you want to win the game? You run on the clock. Like, don't give them time, because just by
did anybody ask that question? Did you see if anybody
analysts do? I mean,
no, but what is like? So
I'm sure he's just like, you want to keep stay aggressive.
The problem is with this coach, he's like 0 for 4 when it came to decisions, because even last year he was in the situation where if he and the Raiders tied, they would both make the playoffs, but he decided to keep going for it and get the win. And so the Raiders were like, what the hell is wrong with you? And so the Raiders decided to actually play, and they ended up beating them. Chargers didn't make the playoffs last year. And then this year, last week, they locked in the number 5 seed. He played all of his starters going into the fourth quarter, got his number 2 receiver injured, and that probably might have been the difference, in the game.
Seems like he wants to get fired and have Sean Payton take his job. Yeah. Because that's what's going to happen.
Bill Simmons always argued that every team should hire just like a 13-year-old kid who's played Madden, and his sole job is to just whisper to the coach, hey, do this thing. This is literally
yeah.
all you have to do.
A lot of them are hiring analytics guys just to tell them like, what should it go for now? What are the analytics?
Well, I just do it from a standpoint of like, for me, when I'm playing the video game, like it is very apparent, and maybe they do need to maybe just play Madden one time, because when you look at it, you're like, oh, I have to do this to win the game. I have no other option, because normally I'm playing somebody way better than me, right? So I have to do that. It's my only option is to not make mistakes and manage the clock to win, because especially if I have a lead going into it, into like the end of the third and starting the fourth quarter, there's no way in hell I'm not putting the ball into weird spots. I'm not trying to go downfield. I'm trying to do short passes to tight ends. I'm trying to run the ball.
Yeah, I mean, again, obviously, what the hell do I know? They know better than I do, but it does seems like you want to get fired, because that's what's going to happen.
Football's weird, man. Football is weird.
You're doing all the decisions that could have made you lose this game and get fired.
And they're doing passing plays instead of running. You know, when you have Austin Eckler, who's an amazing running back, and they're just passing and stopping the clock.
Even snapping the ball with time left on the clock, just let it go down to 2 every time. It's just
That's
like
what I do.
Because then
Actually, Madden, I let it go down to 1.
becomes impossible for the other team to catch up. Anyway,
So
what do you got?
Yeah, what have you been up to,
Well,
buddy? What
hold
have you
on.
been doing?
Last topic about that. You'll appreciate this. Bleacher Report reported some dude put up 1.4 million when they were up 27-0, and 1.4 million would have netted him 11,000.
Yeah.
Ended up losing.
I saw
my
that.
God.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful with some of these, because sometimes there's a big thing in the gambling social media universe where people just put up the Photoshop tickets, and just to get a viral they'll put up a Photoshop ticket of something like this,
Look
and
how
be
dumb I was.
like, look how bad of a beat this is, and people share it, and it becomes a story, and it's
I
not
would
even
like
real.
to think Bleacher Report is pretty trustworthy. When
Or
it
they
comes
got
to
it
that.
from the casino, or from some sort of person that does these bets, and they shared it. Those bets are called bridge jumper bets, and because there's like a lot of people make money with guaranteed bets like this. Like, for instance, in the Georgia national championship game,
God, that was disgusting.
earlier on, I mean, even though like live in-game betting, like it sure would have jumped, but even if the odds are 1,000 to 1, like take the limit, like for sure they were going to win that game. Like it was apparent, everybody saw that, so you could bet infinite whatever they let you bet just to win $100 because it's a guaranteed $100.
It's $300, yeah.
The problem is, and why they call them bridge jumper bets, is every once in a while when those, you're like, this is 100%. Like I was saying, I looked at the odds and it was like 10,000, like minus 10,000 at one point to bet on the Chargers, and I was like, well, that's 100%. Like I should just, if I had 10,000, I could win $100.
Put it in there to get a little bit of money. Chip away at it.
Have you ever done the opposite, where it's like, oh, there's no way the Jaguars are coming back. Let me just toss $5 at their money line just to see if they come back, and that $5 can win you like 300.
The problem is that happens just as much as the other one, and then it ends up being even at the end. You're going to lose that $5 every single time, except for one time you're going to win.
But enough $5 bets, and you finally get it back. Net profit.
Yeah.
It sounds like an addiction when you talk about it that way, right?
I try not to talk gambling because I think I'm just as much of an addict as Tom is, but I don't talk about it.
I
as
mean,
much.
when we
That's a
get
big
you in
difference.
here, I have noticed that you spider out a little bit, and then you guys get eye locked, and then you guys have you.
Listen, I impress Sam with my Disney talk. I impress you with my outfits. I got to impress Tom with something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what have you been up to though? And have you been drone racing at all?
So wait, we just finished our sim levels.
I watched you guys on NBC, by the way.
Yeah, that's cool.
What, 2 weeks ago?
That's cool.
I think it was on.
Okay.
Well, one of these days when they were like, it was during the day, and I think it was like in between like
basically
sports.
correct.
And
when
it
they
was
have
good.
Nothing to show.
It was good though. It's like the production values are excellent.
Yeah, so we're going to Dallas at the beginning of February for an event, and then we're closing out the season in Miami. We have a lot of international pilots, and the whole thing is they want to do more international races, so kind of almost make it like Formula One, where they just go different cities all around the world. They're slowly getting there.
They should have to dress as in the stereotype of where they're from, like Ninja Warrior.
Ah.
So, like, if you're Middle Eastern, you should have a headdress on, and like a robe.
Yeah.
If you're like from Africa, you should like. I'm sorry, but you got to be tribesman.
Yeah,
If you're from America, you should be big fat slob chef hat or something. Like I don't know.
No. I mean,
MAGA hat. Or,
Yeah.
Oh, I brought up the King Kong thing, and not one pilot was amused by that comment. So
No,
these
not
guys don't-
one?
They don't
Not
have
one.
you actually brought that. Would you
Hold on.
raise your hand in the pilots
Where-
meeting?
they just put that on there like, we don't like it.
I do a show with 2 knuckleheads, and they said you guys should have a robot King Kong in there to swat at your drones, and then they were all like,
No one even laughed at it a little bit.
nope, no chuckling at all. They're just.
This is serious business.
I think
Tom.
they
Man,
looked
you
at me and
nerds.
they're like, "Really? You get paid more than we do to yell?"
"Oh,
Like,
you do get
these
paid
are the
more?"
ideas.
They didn't even laugh at the putting someone in King Kong on the Empire State Building like a miniature, and then swatting
They
at the
don't even know
drones
what it
coming
is.
by.
No, they don't know what King Kong is.
Not one chuckle.
They're very young, right? Aren't they young boys?
They are, but
like a teen-
They know
these are-
King Kong. They're nerds.
No, these are teen boys. They don't know who King Kong is.
Yeah, they know King
King
Kong.
Kong's
My
not a
sons
thing.
know King
Do
Kong.
they?
No, the only reason my daughter knows
Yeah.
who
Your
King
sons do?
Yeah.
The only reason Maisie knows who King Kong is because some kid did some rhyme where it's like King Kong's ding dong at school, and I had to explain that. And she's like, "What's King Kong? I know what a ding dong is." And I was like, "Don't talk about it."
They may know
He's a
Donkey
monkey man.
Kong, Donkey Kong, King Kong. It's about the same. You know what I'm saying?
Donkey
It's like
Kong,
the
King
giant
Kong.
gorilla.
I thought you were
that
starting to drop it
smashes
low.
things.
Donkey Kong, King Kong, everybody get that dog.
So outside of Drone Racing League, I did a corporate event. It was one of those boring, just conferences or whatever. But they decided a lot of the people were from France, so it was like a French-based company. So they went out drinking like before the conference, and they're all like getting wasted, and they're
We
all
like a
absolutely
wine.
hungover.
We like
They
a bread
decided-
and cheese.
They decided to do a keynote speaker, and their keynote speaker was motivational, and he was a drummer, so he had like a full drum set like on stage.
Who was it? Terry Bozzio?
No, his name was Clint something.
Clint Eastwood.
But they decided to do it at 8 in the morning when
Oh.
everyone is hungover, and he's up there and he's like, "Are y'all ready to rock?" And
Let's
then
do some drumming.
yeah, and then he gets up
Hungover
there,
drumming.
and then he's like doing "Pour Some Sugar on Me," and he's just like rocking out.
Some sugar on
And if you
me.
look out into the crowd, it's just like a bunch of like French adults that are all hungover, and
What
they're,
they see is, why is he ruining the sugar?
And
Why
then-
are you spilling it?
and they're just standing there straight faced, be like, "We are not entertained. This is not fun for us at all." And he's just like rocking. I felt so bad for him.
Sticky squeeze from my head down to my feet. Wah la la.
But does it still does it bother him? It doesn't matter, right? It's
Oh,
just,
he's
just
getting paid.
money.
Yeah,
It's
he's-
just money.
The
he's
one
getting
thing I
paid.
know about these
But it is disheartening,
Can we
though.
talk about motivational guys for a minute? Here's the one thing I know about a good motivational speaker. They're hardened. And they know that you think they're stupid. But they're getting paid and they don't give an F. They're going to go through.
Yeah. It's like some hardened stand-up comedians.
Yeah, they're
They'll-
going
they'll
to
just
power through. They
power
know
through.
that some of you hate them just by design. They're up there like, hey, drums have changed my life and they're going to change your life too. They know what they're saying is garbage. They don't even care because the check is going to clear, man. Because they're up there. They're doing craft. They're doing, Crest toothpaste. They're doing the biggest of the big.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even matter. You're like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All of these things are money grabs too.
They're just
Like,
going through their bit.
If the number of people when I go through my Facebook, like just naturally of people that I know, just friends of mine, right? That 5,000. The number of people when I go through Facebook that have suddenly become experts on how to manage life is endless. I have so many people that are like, I can teach you. I'm a coach. I'm a coach. I'm a coach. A coach of what? A life coach. Well, your life is S. Your life is a pile of crap. How are you a life coach? But I guarantee you there's at least 50 people on my Facebook that are now life coaches. I'm like, all right.
But whether they're going through the motions or not, that's got to be disheartening. You're up there and you're rocking out and you're trying to like get everyone pumped up and you just stone face. Everyone's a Tom just sitting in the
drums.
audience just stone
It's hard.
And it's just like, I don't appreciate
And
this
there's a
at all.
disconnect too. It's far away, right?
Well, and so we had about 300 people in a ballroom, and the guy's audio writer was like 10 subwoofers, and we're like blowing their socks off, and everyone is just like getting blasted in the face with drums, and again, all hungover, and they're just sitting there, and I'm like, this is the worst experience in the world.
Remember in the 90s when French people and France used to be fancy? Like,
Yeah, they're not fancy anymore.
Well,
In the 90s, it was
social
like,
media killed that
yeah.
because now we are like, oh, they're just like any other. Like it doesn't. It's the same. Everybody's the
ass
same.
don't stink.
Like, but we didn't see France that often, and we had this
freedom fries.
illusion. No,
Is that when it ended?
no, well,
A
that
little bit. That was disrespectful.
Probably.
it was social media really when we got to see it like, oh, it's just another city,
Yeah.
just like any other. It's
Smells
just,
like pee-pee. Just because they ride
everybody's the
around,
same.
just because you're on a
Yeah, there's
bike with
nothing
a
Fran-
baguette sticking out of your basket doesn't
Yeah.
make you any fancier than me.
yeah, there's nothing fancy about anything here.
In
And-
fact, you have nothing but Haitian people selling Heineken beers, warm Heineken beers, under the Eiffel Tower, and that's an eyesore. I would argue that that's an eyesore.
So anything else you got going on, Kenny?
So yeah, I'm going to be going to Vegas for 36 hours.
Whoa,
Yeah,
that's fast.
company's flying me out there just to, do a site visit and everything. But then I just realized, according to my calendar, I've been in Vegas probably once a month. And it's just,
Really?
yeah, it's been crazy
Do
because
you like Vegas?
I don't
Do
mind
you ever
Vegas.
get any? You're married, but do you ever get any ladies of the night? Are you tempted to?
Why'd you ask him that?
Well, I mean,
they're gonna say that on
This is
the.
a talk show. I'm asking questions about. What do you mean? Why?
He's not
am I
gonna say it
asking?
like, yes, I do.
You don't know that. You don't know until you ask. What if he did? Then that's a bombshell, and then we have a good show.
I wouldn't believe him.
I've gotten
Yeah, you know that.
propositions more for cocaine than I have for ladies of the
You
night.
look like a cocaine guy.
Thank you.
Especially with that
appreciate
shirt.
that.
That is a cocaine shirt if I've ever seen one.
Do you even need to like when they like, hey, we're gonna fly you out there for a site visit? Do you say to yourself like, I don't need to do this?
Oh, every single time.
But
I'm
then you're like, but I like the cocaine.
but I literally, and I'm there for like a 2-hour meeting. I just walk around. I'm like, yep, this is a ballroom.
Is it
This will be great for a drummer.
is it a pain in the ass, or do you kind of look forward to? Because I look forward to just being able to listen to some podcasts on the plane.
Get some sleep in a bed with nobody else. You spread out. You do
Yeah.
some bed angels.
I go to the hotel. I
Yeah.
just watch some TV, order
know,
some room
You
service.
can sit naked in the bed and order a triple cheeseburger and eat it naked. Get it
Yeah.
all over the sheets
Yeah,
and don't
yeah.
even care. Wipe your hands on the sheets.
It is nice. I think just the thing that gets me is Vegas is just so far away, and any direct flight is always with like Spirit or Frontier, which I will not fly. So I have to
Ooh.
connect anywhere.
Look, hey, look here, everybody. We got Princess Diana.
The one time I thought I was gonna die was a flight back from Vegas on Frontier.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you guys used to always make fun of me because I don't fly budget airlines, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's the same. Look at Dan, he's
It's
fair
the
flight." It's
same.
not the same.
If it's a flight from like here to Atlanta, I don't mind doing a Frontier, but I'm not traveling.
Isn't that the plastic
5
seat one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can't do the plastic seats. I gotta have a soft surface. I gotta have a leather or a
And
vinyl.
They don't mind taking off in thunderstorms, apparently.
No, it's,
Yeah,
they
makes
all have the same regulations.
Oh, it's rough,
Yeah,
buddy.
makes it
It's
more
the
exciting.
same
I was
mechanic.
Praying to a
doesn't-
God I don't believe in.
It doesn't look the same.
It's the
It doesn't
same-
look the same because I look at the Frontier staff and their eyes are a little different.
No.
I look at their eyes are a little further apart than the rest.
In fact, if think about it like this, if you're an inspector for Frontier, right, because all the FAA has to inspect, they have to go through the same checklist. You're gonna be more diligent with the cheapo airlines because you're thinking they're cheapo,
I'm
right?
not.
Like the fancier ones, Delta. Maybe you're going in there, you're like, oh, Delta's got it together. That looks
That's
good.
not how I.
No.
I
See,
hope they don't think that.
no.
That's what it feels like to me, though.
Flim
Because
flam.
like think about it food wise. If you have like a food inspector, they're gonna go to a greasy fast food restaurant and they're
Yeah,
you're
who cares? The people that are eating here are dying.
yeah, exactly. It's like you're gonna get diarrhea from this place. So what do I care
That's
about?
true.
Like
you want to
rating
save the
them.
fancy people, the French people. You want to save the fancy.
Yeah, so they'll go to the Spirit airplane and they just look around and be like,
Yeah.
all right.
When
it's
you
a-
open the door to the Spirit airplane, you're like, all right, let me look at these patrons. They're all like, and you're like, all right, who cares? And you open the Delta one, it's like,
Like, be doing the world a favor.
yeah, exactly. Every one of these planes that goes
Jesus.
down is helping
I
out.
didn't say anything. I just said doing the world a favor.
Taking out the trash.
Doesn't mean anything. Anyway,
Perfectly fine.
so 36-hour turnaround. The problem I have, you could look at it in that aspect.
How
Like,
many buffets can you
so-
hit in 36 hours in Vegas?
Ooh, don't tempt me. I did an all-you-can-eat sushi place, which was probably a mistake.
I've never been to a Vegas buffet. I've
Me
also
either.
only been to Vegas one time.
Same.
But when I went out there, the only place we hit like fast food, a couple of the steakhouse,
In-N-Out.
a hotel. We hit an In-N-Out, and then we went to Gordon Ramsay's. Was it STK or something?
Was that a fancy steakhouse?
Yeah, remember the steakhouse we went
Yeah,
to? Where
yeah.
Jiggy, we went with Jiggy the comedian.
Oh,
and
that was the burger place. That was their,
And then
like,
Jiggy was hitting on the
Hellfire
waitress.
Kitchen. Yeah.
Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's
yeah.
Kitchen.
It is annoying. The Strip is stupidly expensive, and I get it. It's no different than like Disney. You're there. Where else are you gonna
Yeah.
go? But like even an In-N-Out will be like $10 for an In-N-Out burger just because it's on the Strip.
Yeah.
And that's annoying as hell.
You're paying tourist prices.
Of course.
They're trying to get everybody.
Yeah, but iDrive doesn't do that.
No, they do a bit.
Yeah, you try to like go get gas near, like it's
Yeah.
just like there's a tax you pay, a tourism tax. The closer you get to, like, they're just going to charge tourists more because they can. No one knows like what the prices are here in Florida, so
Yeah.
they just go to their local whatever it is. Gas stations do it. They used to do a lot more. Now I think they get shamed on the internet, so they stopped. But remember, like a gas station near a rental-car place will be like $2 more a
They
gallon.
figured
Oh,
that
yeah.
out, and it's smart. The guys that were getting popped for that would just not put the prices on their sign. And that's smart. Don't put the sign up there because then the news will actually look at it and be like, look, they're gouging. Just don't put it up there. Still charge it, but just don't put it up there.
Because you can charge whatever you
Well,
want.
once they're there, they're going to pump it. Like, they're not, like, unless you're my dad and, I'm driving down the street, but I'm not. I'll be like, all right, you got me.
Whatever, a couple bucks.
Yeah.
All right, Kenny. Anything to plug before? we go?
Yeah, Two Moves Podcast, TOOMOOFS.
How's your co-move?
He's good. He went to.
Can we get him in here?
Yeah, I could do that.
We've never talked to the
He's
other
slinging
move.
furniture to my mother-in-law.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
whoa, hey, what does that mean?
They did a Facebook Marketplace deal, and it turned out to be the other move.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small world.
He's a furniture mover.
Apparently, Matt and Trav have like this weird gay connection because all they do is they just talk to each other. Like when we went over to the Semantics podcast,
Yeah.
like 90% of the conversation was just the two of them like linking together.
You don't you don't get to pick who you love. They pick you. Yeah, you love who you
Special
love.
connection.
Love is love.
Listen, it was love at first sight. But no, he's good. He got a terrible haircut, so he looks like a British soccer hooligan.
Oh, a good
What was he
move.
trying to do? A fancy cut? Was he trying
Yeah,
to do
exactly.
The,
And it's like,
was he trying to do the mullet like everybody's trying to do?
No, he was like, okay, I'll do a 3 on top, 2 on the
Theo
sides.
Von. Everybody's doing the Theo Von.
yeah.
Everybody's doing a mullet like and you would actually you'd be able to rock that, I think.
No.
But Tom, you'll appreciate this. The barber was don't care, so like he's like, giving all these instructions, and she's like, oh okay, bzz, and then just like shaved it all off.
Oh.
Didn't care at all about any of his instructions.
Normally I've only had that a couple times, but there's normally with Spanish barbers. I'm like, I tell them what I want, and they're like, okay, you're going to get these. I'm going to give you these. And he just cuts my hair the way he wants to cut it. It's
Thanks
fine.
for coming by, Kenny. We appreciate it. Two Moves Podcast. Find it where all podcasts are heard.
Yes.
And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.
Awesome. All right. Good job, y'all.
Hey.
Thanks for coming in, buddy.
No, thanks for having me,
Where's
guys.
that go, Sam?
Monday 1.
What's next?
Andy.
Monday 1.
Poker star Andy.
Hey, Samsel. Good to see you, man.
What's up, Andy? How you doing, buddy?
Down the loud outfits.
Hey. So I worked with Andy when the NBA All-Star Game was here.
No shit.
Like 10 years ago, and he was one of my production assistants.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's how I got to first know him.
No
Oh, don't
shit.
steal my thunder. I'm going to tell that story.
Hey. And about how one of the people crashed one of the minivans and totaled it. I don't remember who it was, but one of the minivans
I
got.
don't remember who that was either. I was going to tell the Nicki Minaj dressing room story.
Oh God, she's a bitch.
Better not say that. The barbs will come for you.
All right.
All right, gentlemen.
She is married to a pedophile or a rapist.
Crazy. Yeah, I don't even like that story. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, dude.
Love you, man.
Love you guys too.
Give some love to your buddy.
It's awkward
To
because,
your
like,
family.
I think Nicki Minaj is like gorgeous as hell. She's just an insane person.
Tom and I saw her perform, and we both were like, it was great. Like,
Yeah.
we saw her and Rick Ross with Lil Wayne perform at the old Amway, and it was amazing. It was like it was when they had just gone huge, and she was like really huge,
Yeah.
and that stage for Lil Wayne was the craziest stage I've ever seen. He had elevators on it and shit, and it was nuts. But yeah, she seemed. We were like, holy shit, she's awesome. But
No, she's great.
she's gone a
on
little nutty.
stage. She's just bipolar.
a little crazy.
I got tickets to see Janet Jackson and Ludacris.
Hell yeah.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
that's a good grab.
And live in my college.
I kind of had to pick between that and Blink. So
Are they at the same time?
no, but it just money wise, it's like you don't want to.
Yeah,
You know,
that makes
those concerts can get out of control.
Fucking Ticketmaster.
Yeah, they're crazy.
All right, lady, gent, adios.
See you, man.
Bye.
Take care, man. Thank you very much. See you again, good sir. Have fun.
Okay. Come on in, man.
Hey, man. How
Good
are
to
you?
see you again.
Good to see you, buddy.
How you been?
Doing good. Doing real good.
Good.
Guys, I've been an avid listener for about...
Oh, we're on Twitch right now too, just in case you're gonna pull a gun out and kill us.
I've been an avid listener for about 8 years now, and I remember the Friday free shows where you guys used to just get White Claw crazy.
We would.
And I brought White Claw, and I was hoping we could all have one during my segment.
All right.
Yeah, well, sure.
It's raspberry.
No, that's fine.
The best White Claw flavor.
It's one of the best. We're being peer pressured into drinking. I like it.
That's fine.
Here you go, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Or
it.
you
Oh,
can
they're ice
pull-
cold.
or
My
you can
God.
pull the American Idol and just sit it in front of you and not actually drink.
Yeah, I'll sip.
Thank you.
Why not? All right.
This is what we call the Joey.
Yeah, this is the Joey. All right.
And Andy, remind me your website again.
7-card flush poker.
Okay.
YouTube and Instagram.
Saw my first flush this morning from SBK. He pulled up in Louisiana, and he got a royal flush.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's on his Instagram.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. He pulled into like a little truck stop casino and he played poker. I guess that's what he got.
What was the story recently? I saw some card story in the news. Not the cheating one from the lady, but there's another story
Let me see.
about poker.
I'm trying to think of what you're talking about, but
Was it just a continuation of that?
You were talking about when they got where well, you probably know more about it than I do, but they concluded that nothing happened, but something could have happened.
yeah,
That's what I got out of it.
yeah, they
was
couldn't
like,
prove that there was cheating, but
Yeah.
they couldn't prove there
We
wasn't
can talk a little bit
cheating.
about that, but I thought that was funny. I was like, well, that does nothing. Like they're saying nothing happened, but something could have happened because here are all the breaches in security that we found that could have been loop ways in, right?
Yeah.
So then I got it right. I thought I was explaining that to you wrong, but I guess I got it right.
Okay, we'll talk cheating because I want to ask Andy a question. Okay.
All right,
Good.
buddy. What is this? Where's this go?
Great question. We have 9 minutes left for Monday too,
We got to fit it in there.
and
Well,
we have 10 minutes for Tuesday 4.
Well, if it's the 9, then you can take the 9 up to 15, but that's as far as we can go with it.
Or at least 10 or 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just.
I mean, you have the extra 6, it's fine, but you never want to burn the whole thing. So.
Yeah, let's do that.
Alrighty, that'll work. Here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We've got Andy here from 7-Card Flush Poker. You could find that on YouTube.
Yeah.
We've had Andy in before, and he does a great job.
Yeah,
on
jump
his,
on there and check out his YouTube page. It's really informative, especially if you like to dabble in the poker.
How you doing, Andy?
Good guys, how you doing?
What have you been up to? Have you won any big tournaments lately? I know that one that we paid or donated. We invested into you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
It's
yes,
because this happens a lot of times, and people don't realize there are pro poker players that get basically sponsored or other people.
What's the correct term? Is it sponsorship or
You staked me or bought,
Staked,
bought
yeah.
a piece of my action.
Okay.
So you buy in.
Sponsored sounds
It's
so much
essentially a bet on that person to win money, because then you'll get a percentage of your money, and
Yeah.
sometimes you'll win 10 times your money you put in or more if
Agreed.
the person finishes in the money. So have you won anything lately?
So here was the biggest disappointment with that tournament was I didn't think I was going to win the thing, but I just thought if I could make a little bit of a deep run, make the money, and at least return you guys your investment, like it would be a cool story and
Yeah,
I'd have
yeah.
something to talk about. No, I literally played 5 hands. I was in the tournament for like 2.5 hours, and I was out. There was like absolutely nothing to bring back to you guys about a fun, entertaining.
Oh,
story.
Yeah.
that
Well, that's
happens.
what
Part of the
happens.
game.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
part
yeah.
of the game.
I have actually been staked twice by a BDM, and I'm not going to say his name, but he's been pretty active on the Facebook page about buying some action.
I've seen that.
Yeah, he's been buying action on the live streams that I've been going up and playing up in Jacksonville at Best Bet Jacks. He bought into a 2-2 live stream. He bought a 50% of my action that night, and I won $600, so he got about $300 back.
All right.
And then I started the year playing a 2-5 live stream, a big game. There's like $10,000 on the table. and I went broke, and it cost this poor BDM about $500.
Yeah,
but
it
that's all
happens.
part of the game.
It
right?
is, but
I
on the
mean,
drive home, I called him and I was like, "Dude, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sure you were watching the street. Like, I felt horrible."
No,
like,
not to
I-
get into this guy's business. Certainly not going to say his name. Does he play and doesn't maybe have the confidence yet
To try to do it
it
himself?
himself? Because I do like this idea of, I could see where that's attractive to me. I play a lot of Xbox poker.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know that that's a completely different world, because sometimes you're playing with AI, most of the time you are, which is nothing. Sometimes you're playing with real people, but it's not real money, so
Right.
it's not even a real world. But I will say that if you gave me the option of playing real poker, where I could like find a person that I like that maybe is a friend of mine that's better, and you gave me the ability to now invest in that person and still, I mean, this sounds like something I would like. This is cool.
I think he has a good, solid understanding of how the game works. I
Sure.
don't think he plays much, but he definitely understood the risk he was taking. Like, as we talked about it and talked about what he was going to do, he understood there was a chance he'd lose his money. He understood there was a chance he'd make some money.
Plus, you could find people that are in maybe areas where you can't gamble or you can't get to, I guess. And it's interesting to think that you could broker or have a person play for you.
Yeah, I mean, if you know a person is really good, and by good, I mean he knows all the statistics. He knows when, what position to play in, when to call based on pot size, how much to bet. A lot of this goes into being a good poker player.
Sure.
And if you got someone that knows everything and plays as good as you possibly can, you're like, all right, this person has, a bigger chance than me betting on anything else to win the money or whatever.
It's kind of screwing with me in a weird way. There's like a game within a game, like almost like an RPG video game aspect to this, where I have now hired him as my champion, right?
Yeah.
And he's going and playing. Like, I don't know. There's some messing with me. Like, it's very attractive to me to think that I can get a champion to go in and play for me, where I still get the benefit and I still.
I'm not a champion. Yeah, Dave.
Well, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm
I'm
using
saying.
that figuratively.
Yeah.
But like, I'm getting my guy,
So far,
my warrior,
yeah.
right? Like, I'm putting it in like RPG terms. It's my warrior, and I'm putting him out there, and we'll see how he does.
Yeah.
Let's see whether I pick the right guy or not. I don't know. That's neat.
The ultimate problem with poker, and there are a lot of people that don't understand the statistics of it, is like any one person can be beaten just by luck. And that's the thing about poker, is that there's still a luck element, that being good at it gives you a better than 50% chance to do well, but there's still the luck element. And that's what I wanted to ask you, Andy, is because there's all these cheating controversies that we've talked about with people accusing other people of cheating.
2022 was the year of cheating. I mean, it was like everywhere. Fishing, poker, you name it, it was being cheated.
And the problem
Football.
is with, especially like tournaments that are televised, or now they're just putting all these particular tournaments on the internet for people to watch, because it's cheap. Technology is cheap, and you could broadcast a lot of stuff, and you get some announcers that know some poker, and you could put together a show that's pretty cheap. The tournament's already happening. But the problem being is all that stuff is not necessarily the most secure by all the stuff like the broadcast, all of it, the cameras, there's a camera and the player's cards, and that is being sent to some producer, and that is so it could be compromised. There could be someone that is looking at that feed and then feeding information back to a player. It's possible, right? It's not. This is not like the security of it. Maybe in the bigger tournaments, maybe more, but for the most part, it can be done, right? What I wanted to ask you, but that still doesn't guarantee someone to win. And I wanted to ask you, Andy, what do you think if you knew, like in a tournament, what the other players' cards were? What would you say your chances of winning that tournament are? Because now you don't know the cards in the deck. You just know the other players' cards. I still feel like it only gives you 60% advantage, over, you know what I'm saying? And
It would depend on where they are in the.
Because if
Am I knowing everybody I'm playing against?
or just say all of a sudden someone goes all in, and you know that they have what their cards are, it gives you a tremendous advantage, right? I know that, but it doesn't guarantee you win, because say you call them and you had a better hand to start, there's still got to
Right.
lay all the cards
You'd
out.
have to have the superior hand,
So yeah,
not just a good hand.
So in some cases, maybe it's pre-flop. Well, now you're going to see 5 cards, and that person's crappy hand could be a winner, no problem. That's
Right.
all luck. So what do you think, Andy? If you knew everybody else's hand,
So anytime you involve technology into the game, like with these live streams, the one I play at in Jacksonville, all of the cards have RFID chips in them. That's how most of the live streams are on the internet. When you hover it over a certain place on the table, it reads that information and sends it to the graphics creator, which produces the graphics to the crew. So anytime you have that element, sure, you're opening yourself up to cheating. With that being said, if I knew what my opponent was holding in a big situation, it would definitely help me in the way I play the hand, but I don't think it's ever going to guarantee me that I win the hand. Because luck is part of it. Sure, I can get all my money in with the best hand, but I've got, my hand has to hold, and that doesn't always happen.
And that's where it comes to now. If you did have someone, especially in later on in the tournament, but the problem is with these tournaments, you have to get there to begin with, right?
Correct.
So even getting to the final table is nearly impossible statistically, right? And then I guess if you're at the final table and you're able to know other people's hands,
I think it would help you, but it doesn't guarantee anything.
Yeah, and then it's all about what the cards are, so you can play the
that's
best
why poker's
possible.
so incredibly hard. What do you think about this bill in Montana to kind of open it up and let it go crazy, right? Have you heard about that?
I have not heard about
I just
this.
looked this up, and apparently there's a bill that would eliminate restrictions in Montana, and we're probably going to find a lot of this, where right now, I guess, the game must stop as soon as the cumulative amount of money bet reaches $800.
Oh, okay, yeah. So,
but
it was
they're gonna open it up and just say, no, it can go as big as it wants.
It was like this in Arizona. I don't remember the exact details, but they used to have no limit games, but you couldn't bet more than $500 on any street. So even though it was no limit, it was capped. And Arizona just recently got rid of that. So I assume that's what Montana's
I
doing
think it's
as well.
exactly the same thing.
Which is just, it's going to bring more money in. It means more money's going to get passed around. It means more people will be at the casino, which will contribute to the local
which probably
economy.
means there will be more cheating.
Well,
right? Or more scandals, at least, because anytime things get more popular. I don't know. It seems like poker is getting a bit of a shot in the arm lately. I'm seeing a lot of people getting back into poker. It feels like there's a wave coming again.
Well, so it's a lot of it has to do with programs like the Poker Bros app, which you guys, have
fun,
a group
man.
on.
I had when we did to do more of those Wednesday night games. Those
I
are fun.
know. I know. We'll talk to Craig.
Yeah, those are fun. Where you're just sitting on the couch, like just messing around, man. Those are really fun.
Well, essentially, I feel like it used to be where like the urban legend was that if you're playing a home poker game and they're like, don't use real money, the cops will kick your door down,
garage door in.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then
it'll be like Elian Gonzalez.
people used to worry about that. Like, oh, even if you
my dad worried about that.
even if you had pennies, like you have to
don't talk about it, Dan Lee.
You got to use chips because if you have real money, which is so ridiculous that you think, like, don't you know have you ever even heard of anybody getting busted for having an at-home poker? No, it's never happened. It never will happen.
I think there were urban legends that
the urban legends
our dads told where there'd be like, they kicked his door in, they shot his dog.
Well, yeah.
And the police got his money and slapped his wife around.
But I think that was happening in New York when the mob was running pizza games out of the back of running poker games.
Did you say Pizzagate? Pizzagate. The cheese
shoot
pizza.
the floor.
The cheese pizza is girls and the pepperoni, that's the penis. That's the boy.
Yeah. Same thing with wiretapping. A lot of this was a mafia related laws and things, but you can essentially, celebrities have done that. What was that one movie about? There was a celebrity poker game that was, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, the
like,
one
it was
where
rich
all
people.
the celebrities were at?
I think Ashton Kutcher used to be involved with it, but it was run out of a person's mansion or whatever. And we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, a cash game that rich people would play, right?
Yeah.
And now you can, once it gets to a certain, amount, I guess the IRS can be, because now you're exchanging hundreds of thousands of dollars and no one, the government wants their cut. But for the most part, you could have cash games. No one's going to bother you. You could have we could probably do a BDM tournament with and do a cash prize at the end and have 80 people there.
Somebody would want to shut it down just to say that you're wrrong. That's what makes me feel like.
Who would shut it down?
I don't know. Somebody who's like, see, Tom, we told you. I don't know.
Who would they call? Like a
I
cop?
don't know who you
And then you
call.
call your local cop and
I
be
don't
like,
know.
go over there and shut it down.
Yeah,
And be like,
it's like
I'm
asking
busy.
where-
I'm eating Jersey Mike's in my car.
I
in my
love
hotel.
Jersey Mike's.
No, but I'm
Because they
saying,
cut it right in front of you. It's like calling the FCC or
Yeah.
or calling Human Resources
Who-
here. It's like, what do we do? Where is it? I don't know where it is.
I don't think there's anybody you could even call to shut it down. Like if we had a poker tournament and there's cash involved, who's getting like the gaming
We
commission?
should do that. Next time Jimmy, our good friend Jim Colbert, who we're going to see this week, the
Yeah.
next time he's doing one of his world-famous garage games, we should call the police and go, Jim Colbert is having an illegal poker game in
No.
his den of
They
ill
wouldn't show up.
repute.
Don't do that because I'm trying to get invited to that game.
But
I
go
can
to
get
that
you an
game.
invite.
I don't think if you called the cops and said someone's having a legal poker game, they would not show up. They would like that is
We
not
have to
cop-
try this. We're going to have to try this.
I guarantee you they would be like, we don't do that. Bye bye.
Yeah, sorry.
They would say that. They would,
Florida Gaming Control Commission. That's who you reach out
What
to.
do they
If you
say?
called them, they would
Do they
not
have a
show up.
hotline? Do they have a hotline or
I'm
a
sure
number
they
we
do.
can
They
call
have a
right now?
contact us, yeah.
if you
Oh, give me the number. We'll call them right
if
now. on
you
the air.
called them and told them about a poker game in someone's house, they would be like,
Let's
"What
call
are you
them right
talking about?" Like what?
Let's call them right now, and I'll be like,
No
I know
one
of
will
an
even
illegal
answer.
poker game.
No, that doesn't happen. That's nothing.
You don't think they'll pick up?
No.
What's the number?
No
Sam?
one even.
850.
Here, just call it over there
Okay.
and throw it on hold, and I'll pick it up. And this will be the last thing we do. I want to just see if they pick
It
up.
might not even be open because of the holiday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're not. You're right.
yeah,
Don't
yeah,
call.
yeah,
Don't
yeah,
call.
yeah.
Don't bother them.
We're the only ones working apparently in
yeah,
Publix.
yeah.
I don't know
All
what's
right.
happening. Yeah, we went over to Publix and no one's there.
So,
She's like, you guys are working today?
Andy, let's plug your YouTube channel.
He's got an event this weekend.
Oh
right?
yeah. What's the event?
I do. I had talked before when I had been in here about doing meetup games. That's kind of like the thing as a poker vlogger you want to have, a game
Nice.
that you host where people come to play with you. And there's another vlogger in Orange City, Kyle Fischel. I've talked about him on this
Yeah.
program
Yeah.
before. He and I started teaming up last year and started doing meetup games. And the card room, Orange City Racing and Card Club, has gotten totally behind Kyle and I. They're promoting the hell out of these events. We
Nice.
did one in August and another one in September. We took a little time off, but we're doing one this Saturday, January 21st. It starts at 1 p.m. It's a 1-3 no limit, $500 max buy-in, and we do a $10 bomb pot every dealer change.
Can we call the cops? I do.
Yeah, call the cops.
Call the cops.
What's
Make
a bomb?
note.
What is that? A what dollar bomb? What?
So it's a $10 bomb pot, meaning that when a new dealer sits down, everybody puts $10 in the middle. You're dealt your 2 cards, and then there's no pre-flop betting action. You just go straight to a flop. So there's $80 in the middle, and you don't know what anybody's holding because nobody has folded, nobody has raised. So it makes the game challenging because literally anybody could have any 2 cards.
Ooh, that sounds illegal. Let's call the cops.
Get that number.
Yeah, there's
Get
definitely
that number.
cash
And he
around
said
there.
bomb. I think he said bomb. And that's bad.
So,
Yeah, bombs are bad.
When we did this in August, we had I believe we had 3 tables. We had about 40 people come out. When we did it in September,
Nice.
we had another good turnout like that. So
Awesome.
since we haven't done it in a while, we're hoping to run 3 or 4 tables at this event, which will be really fun.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming by,
Yeah,
Andy.
appreciate it, man.
Again,
And
7
thanks for the
card
White
flush
Claw.
poker.
Thank you for this.
Yeah. We gotta go. Bye bye. That should be fine, right?
Yeah. It's perfect 15 minutes. It's exactly what we needed.
Cool.
Thank you, guys.
Sorry, I had to cut a little closer.
No, we did it right. Let me give this to Sam. Which one is that, Sam?
Monday 2?
Monday 2. And then is it launch?
Yep.
Have a great lunch, everybody. We will see you a little bit later.
Yeah,
Facebook group.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
be
and
back